Welcome to the Bearded Bird Show podcast. I am one of your hosts, Dustin, and we are forever joined by
Trav has always had trouble there at the start. I was holding in a burp, and it may have picked up, but man, it was the slightest. I really tried to hide it. What's going on, guys?
I didn't hear it. Oh my god! And the fact that you said that. Okay, guys, this is a free ball episode, by the way. Literally, Trav and I are both free balling right now, side by side. I'm just kidding. That's not actually happening.
I mean, I literally am, but I'm not by Dustin, so
I'm free balling too. I'm free balling in my gaming chair.
Being naked in my pajamas, man, it's comfortable.
Dude, it does. It feels nice. Sometimes you gotta let the boys breathe. But anyways, funny story. I just thought about this as you were talking about the burp, even though this has nothing to do with the burp and everything to do with the fart. So, those of you who have pets, like pets fart, man, dogs fart, cats fart. It's really funny, but they're always like very like petite. Okay. Like, dog farts are, like, very, like...
Petite,
like,
but smell really freaking bad.
But you know what I mean, right? Like, they're, like, very, like... It's like a squeaky toy.
Yeah.
So, we have a full-grown German Shepherd, and she's a fucking beast. I love her to death. So, Trista was, like, sitting in front of her mirror, doing her makeup, getting ready to go to work tonight. And, I was sitting on the bed, like, talking to her, handling some drama, which I want to touch on later in this. But I'm not going to mention names. So, but it's something I want to talk about and kind of tie it in with something about don't be an asshole online. But anyways, that's for later on. So, kids and I are just hanging out on the bed, and I'm talking to Trista. She's doing her makeup, and our German Shepherd's on the floor. Like, if you're on our bed, like facing our TV, like she was on the right side of the bed, my side of the bed, on the floor, and she farted. But it wasn't just a normal dog fart. I mean, like, this thing had some fucking girth to it. Like, I honestly thought Trista farted. I mean, it was like, boom, and it was like a human fart. And we all just stopped and just looked at her, and she's just being a dog on the floor. And then she, like, crop dusted us. She fucking realized what happened, realized it stunk, and just dipped out of the fucking room. But it was the loudest fart I've ever heard come out of a dog ever. Like, my dog farted better than I do.
Yeah, it can happen easily. I remember my stepdog. My stepmom's dog. Literally one of those moments where you twist the words. It's always those two words.
My stepdog, dude. That is the...
My stepdog farted, man.
I guess it could be your stepdog.
Stepmom's dog. She's no longer around, but her name was Lulu, and I forgot what kind of dog she is. But she's those like white, kind of like they call them like I don't know. They're not like a mop. That's kind of a different breed I'm thinking of. It's not that long of hair, but they're completely white, and they have the pointiest ears, like literally perfect triangles. And they're the ones with, like, they look like they have, like, a big mustache, basically. Anyway, her name was Lulu, and her farts would always be super silent, and then I don't know where you just smell it. Like, I hardly ever heard them, and, man, it's terrible. With cats, though, I think we're lucky, because we have 2 cats, and if there's ever been a fart, it's really... Cats, dogs are just more farters than cats. I mean, cats do fart, but it's not, I don't know, it's not really that noticeable, I guess.
No, but dog farts, man. Like I said, I've heard dogs fart, but, like, I've never heard a dog fart like that. Like, it was almost like one of those times where, like, I wish I would have just happened to be recording something and it just picked that up, because that shit would have went viral.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
for sure.
It lit, like, I felt the fucking bed shake, I swear to God.
You want to mention Snowden real fast?
Yes, Snowden, guys. Movie on Netflix. I watched it today. Super, super good. I read the book way back when, because this is something that really interests me. I'm not gonna like ruin the movie if you haven't watched it, but basically it's a story about Edward Snowden. This is something that actually happened in real life. This guy actually worked for like the CIA. Super, super smart. And back when like 9/11 happened, like years later, like 2013 ish, this guy like literally was so smart and could get into anything that he had like all this crazy evidence against the US government and he fucking just blasted it all through like these big news teams. It was a huge thing that happened. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt is in it. Nicolas Cage is in it. There's a couple other people, I can't remember their names, but like big actors. And the movie is just so well done, and I recommend it. And I told Trav to watch it too.
Who is the director, by the way? I don't even. Or do you know?
Let me do a quick search. I can like see it in my head. I can't remember.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because like there's so many directors out there that like. There's even directors that I love their movies.
Oliver
and then
Stone.
I'm like, but what's his name again? Oh, okay, yeah.
Oliver Stone.
I can't think of anything he's done, but yeah, I recognize the name for sure. Yeah, I plan to watch it. And I know guys were kind of bad about like telling you guys we're gonna watch a Netflix movie and then review it, and then we kind of don't. But but it's okay. This one we actually will. I kind of do. I am curious because it's always the stuff that Dustin mentions and watches that like I happen to have like a thought about previously, because I opened Netflix the other day. I think this was before we went on the trip, and like Netflix has that weird just like a trailer plays. Sometimes I don't want it to happen. I'm like, please just let me play the trailer on my own. I hate random audio out of nowhere. That goes for editing and everything. Like if I don't want the audio playing, don't play. I just like it's just so startling sometimes. Yeah, I've definitely planned to watch Snowden. Maybe we'll have to talk about it. Rather, it's like half of an episode type of review, or like the whole thing.
I mean,
I'm sure that
I'm
sure
go
there's
either
going to
way.
be a lot to talk about with it.
Yeah, I'll give you guys a quick rundown of who Edward Snowden is and what he did in real life. So, Edward Joseph Snowden, born June 21st, 1983, is an American whistleblower who copied and leaked highly classified information from the National Security Agency, or NSA, if you want to call it that, in 2013 when he was a Central Intelligence Agency when he worked for the CIA employee and a subcontractor. His disclosures revealed numerous global surveillance programs, many run by NSA and the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance, with the cooperation of telecommunication companies and European governments, and prompted a cultural discussion about national security and individual privacy. Crazy what this guy did.
Yeah, it sounds really interesting. I'll definitely have to check it out. Look out for that discussion soon, guys. And plus, I mean, those are some great actors in there, and I didn't expect Nicolas Cage, so that's going to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
The part that I saw, the little trailer, well, actually, it's not really a trailer. Netflix likes to play, like, scenes, like, literally, like, for, like, 5 or 10 minutes, and it was, like, a Joseph Gordon-Levitt scene, so I was, like, in some kind of interrogation room, interview room or something. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. I literally, like, Ashley was sitting there, and we let it play. So that means we're both interested. Maybe me and her can watch it, too. And which, by the way, guys, I'm just going to let you guys in a little secret. Ashley is actually kind of interested in being on the podcast.
Ooh.
I'm not, I mean, she literally is like, you know, like, she hit me up about it while we were on our trip. She was like, you know, like, I don't like being on video. On videos, but I mean the podcast is like audio only, so I mean, you know what, I could probably talk about something for an hour. I'm like, okay, cool, it's official now, we got to do that at some point. But rather that'll be with Dustin or not, don't know, because like there's not really a way, unless we like 3-way call and all use headphones. Like there's some tricks, guys, with doing podcasts. You can't have like the other people's audio blasting through your own microphone. So it's kind of like you have to have like a setup. So I don't know. See about that. Either way, no matter who's there, like Ashley will be there at some point. So that's cool. And that's my wife, by the way, for those who don't know. And speaking of that, I'll just segue. We just got back from our trip, and I never really talk about where I live or anything, but I can talk about where this was because it's like 3 hours away from where I lived. From where I live, I said lived. From where I live, and I could live 3 hours away from any direction of this place, so you figure that out. Branson, Missouri is a super underrated. I mean, it's kind of like a place that people talk about around here. I tell people that it's pretty much Vegas for people around here. I mean, I've said I'm in Arkansas before, but so I call it Arkansas's Vegas. Me and Ashley, literally the day we got to Branson, We've been there 3 times together. I've been there. Me and her both separately have gone many times in our childhood. So there's nostalgia to the place, and it's just like a really cool, like, there's attractions, there's museums, like wax museums. They have a Ripley's, believe it or not. And just let me know, guys, in the comments, on the YouTube version of this podcast, is there like a place that you guys is like a go-to vacation? Because this is literally 3 hours away. Pretty much a straight trip. It's not really that many turns, or it's a curvy road and some mountains, but I mean, it's like, it's basically just one straight road in a way, which is crazy. And it's like, it's right at the bottom of Missouri. Like, literally, when we're coming back, you're entering Arkansas within, like, I don't know, man, like, maybe 15 minutes or so. So, let me try to think about what I want to talk about with the trip, because it was we got married November 16th last year, and so this was we kind of went earlier than that. It didn't really matter what week we went, but we went for that, our anniversary, and we did that last year for the honeymoon. 2 nights, hotel, all that, and we just kind of pick what we're eating and stuff. I don't know if any of you guys have ever had Shorty Smalls, but like literally they went out of business there. And funny story about Branson, by the way. Last year, I saw, and I would love to get him on the podcast, but I know it's a very slim chance, but Boogie2988 went. He's from Arkansas. He's like, maybe like 45, maybe an hour away from me or so.
I just want to say, I don't like to say where I live.
Exactly. I'm letting you guys figure this out. All right, just figure out where I live.
Does Trav live in Arkansas or Missouri?
No, don't do that. Don't do that. I probably wouldn't be saying half of this stuff if we were a bigger channel. But but anyway, it's funny too, because when I think back on it, Boogie has many times just said, like, here in something something Arkansas. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. And he had some recent stuff with that one bully guy. That was crazy. I forgot if you saw it. Did you see anything about Boogie having trouble recently?
Yeah, he like fired a shot at that guy because that guy was like threatening to kill him or something.
Literally harassing him, like going to his house, like whatever. Anyway,
listen, I'm sorry, but if I was ever that popular because of this podcast, whatever, and somebody came to my house and jeopardized me, I'm putting a fucking bullet in your head. I'm sorry, but like, I
don't blame you,
I'm
man.
just saying.
Literally, like, and he was like saying the name of his dog because he was so freaked out he couldn't even say.
His dog's name was
like,
Sammy.
Whatever his dog's name is.
Sammy.
Anyway, we're getting off track. But Boogie went to Branson last year, like a few days before we did. And I actually messaged Boogie on Twitter thinking he ain't gonna see this or anything. And we had a conversation. It was cool. And yes, it's the real Boogie. I made sure he has the check mark and everything. That guy gets a bad rap. I love Boogie. I don't know.
I love
something
Boogie
about
too.
him. I always have. He gets so much hate.
He just uploaded a video too today. I might have saw it on Twitter. I think it was on Twitter about how like happy he was because like he kind of is in this point right now with making content because he's very bullied. You know, he was notorious for being a bigger guy. He had surgery and he went through a divorce. He had really bad teeth. He actually got his teeth fixed. Like
and again, because he got like a new set
yeah.
that like looked better or whatever. The other ones were supposedly too long. I didn't really notice, but it is what it is.
I'm sure when it's in your mouth, yeah. I mean, that's probably a little weird, but yeah. But he just said he was like, look, I'm so happy. He's like, my views are up. My channel's starting to take off again. I'm gaining more subs. And he's like, it's honestly because I don't care what people think about my content, and I'm actually passionate about the content I've been creating, and that's all that matters. And you know, and in me saying that too, like those words came from Boogie. If you guys want to do any sort of like content creation, just keep that in mind. Like if you're passionate about what you do, then it shouldn't matter what other people think because there's a fine line between, constructive criticism and just people being assholes. Completely different.
Yeah, don't let your audience be like, how can I explain this? There's like a certain way to word it. Like, don't let your audience guide you to what content you should make. Guide your channel and the rest will follow. It's really hard to do sometimes, though, because you want to kind of have that people-pleasing aspect sometimes, but at the same time, it's like, well, I'm the one creating it. I'm the one putting all the time, the filming, the editing, the freaking thumbnailing, the uploading. Like, it's just like, it's so much work, guys. I mean,
it is. And
any time that you guys want any advice about any of that, me and Dustin can tell you straight up, even if you want to private messages. So if you want to DM the Bearded Rose Twitter, which that exists down below in the description, plug, there it is, messages. Even if you just want to DM and be like, man, I'm not inspired about my YouTube channel. Like, I've seen people post, like, I'm in a couple of YouTube-related Facebook groups, and I've seen people post, like, how to stay motivated, or, well, when you're feeling low about your channel or something like that, the passion isn't there. I literally commented, like, watch other YouTubers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally, all it ever takes for me to get a little bit of fuel to record or whatever is, like, watch my favorite YouTubers. Like, if I watch YouTube for a good hour or so, I'm like, man, it sounds so fun right now to, like, edit or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it just... Like, once you see the platform in front of your eyes, it's different than, like, having to imagine it. Like, it may not... And, you can run into a problem with trying to be like somebody else, though, or something. But I added on the end of it, like, but remember to be yourself. There's a fine line there, and it can be difficult to find. Because, honestly, man, like... I know I'm going too far in the deep end, but literally, like... That's one reason that I feel like I'm on YouTube for. I may be a food reviewer. It may just be like, okay, I'm biting something. I'm telling you my opinion. But I feel like one of my main purposes with YouTube is just to help others in that way. And like, that's why I agreed to a podcast with Dustin, because I knew like it's an open window to other opportunity. Like, we love discussing stuff. We can be funny. We can talk about farts and like Margot Robbie all day long.
Buttholes.
But and then I shouldn't even said that because I tripped over and started laughing. But we want to help. Like, it's a definite, like, I personally with me, it's like, it's one of my purposes. I don't know how many purposes I have, but it's one of them. To get people out of that, that dark place, rather that's even like about your YouTube channel, about your life, whatever. Anyway, but it's there to help you guys if you need it. We're not experts, but we will tell you from what we have dealt with or experienced.
Right.
Because I think me and Dustin are really level-headed guys and have the intelligence to, like, and Dustin says it all the time, too, and I'm glad that he chimes us in, because it's not something I would, like, think about in the moment, which is, like, by the way, if you need help, like, mental help, like, we're not, we're not professionals, but I will help you if I can, but there's only so much I can do. You got to help yourself first.
Yes, and that's the most important thing, too. Yeah, I can be there. I can be your shoulder to cry on. I can be your rock. Whatever I need to be for you, I can be there. But I can only push you so far along. Eventually you're going to kind of hit this point where you kind of just have to take that next step and you have to do it on your own. Like, hey, things are still bad. You're trying to get help. I can be there when you fall. I can pick you up. I can put you back up on your feet and send you on your way again. But, you can't rely on people to, especially like other, content creators on YouTube. It's one thing to reach out to someone and be like, hey, look, like, like you honestly, like, your content has made me feel a lot better, or it's almost kind of changed my life. Like, it's inspired me. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, and there's nothing like that feeling when you get that feedback.
Right, and
because you made the difference.
Right, and I talked about my history with Rancher, who you guys see on my channel all the time. Like, he literally reached out to me. He's like, hey, look, man, like, had you would have not invited me to that party that night and talked to me, because he never told me. He didn't tell me that night when I first talked to him that, like, what was going on in his head. I never found out from him until months probably almost a year later, he told me and was like, hey, remember like the first time we ever talked? And I was like, yeah, dude, it was awesome. He was like, that night, like, you know, a lot of stuff happened, and I was feeling like that's it, I should end it all. And he's like, had you would have not invited me to that party that night, and like we would have played Minecraft together, he's like, I probably wouldn't even be here. And but I respect that, you know, but he never came to me with his problems. I never knew. You know, like I said, I can help you. And had he would have come to me, I would have been like, look, man, it's not worth it. And I would have pointed him in the direction to get help. I would have said, like, you need to like reach out to your parents. You need to reach out to a counselor. Like, you need to seek professional help. I can be there for you. You can vent to me, scream at me, whatever, to make yourself feel better in that time. But if this is a long-term issue and you think it's going to be a long-term issue, you need to go get professional help, because I'm not a licensed therapist. If you're talking to me and I try to be and something goes wrong, I look like a dick. I'm in the wrong, you know, because like I can't help you. I can't prescribe you medication to make you feel better. You know, and for most people too, I think a lot of the times it's just like a lot of people just kind of need that person to listen to, you know, that have that person that will just listen to what they have to say, and that helps. But sometimes, you know, it does get to a point, and I've dealt with people that have watched me like to this point of like where they're like, you need to help me, and I'm like, but I can't, you know, like as much as I want to and as much as this is killing me, I can't. I can only do so much, you know. But to get off this topic, when you were talking about like how people kind of get in a funk with their channels, and you know, I think it's something we've all been through as people who create content. I know I've been through it, and I've actually told this story numerous times, where like when I started my Minecraft channel, like it blew up, right? I hit 100 subs super quick. And then like I hit this plateau at one point in time at like 300 subs. And for like an entire year, I never got past like 350. And I was losing subs, and then I would gain a sub, and then I would lose 4 subs, and I'd gain 6 subs, and then I'd lose 10 subs. And like, it was the most discouraging point ever. And if you, I'd actually deleted the videos, but if you went back on my channel, you would see like I was trying to play like Call of Duty, and I was trying to like do these things because like I was trying to please everybody. And I wasn't happy, you know, because I was like trying to upload these videos and keep growing my channel and keep getting views because like I was, you know, I was happy with the way things were going. It wasn't working. And I just one day kind of had this moment of clarity of like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to keep doing what I love to do. And people, if they watch, they watch. If they don't, oh well. And I've carried that mentality ever since. And it's honestly the best thing you can do. And to give you guys an example, I kind of went through a little funk, actually like up until today. Not with my YouTube channel, but I talk about me doing the Minecraft Marketplace stuff. And to be honest with you guys, like there was, for the last like few months, there was just been no motivation. You know, like I'm working on a map with Rancher, and he's busy with school, and I'm busy with my family and work, and there's just not the time to work on it. So like I got discouraged with it. And tonight, actually on my live stream just before this podcast, I like loaded up an old Minecraft city that I had from like 4 years ago, and I was flying through, and I found this big ass baseball stadium that I had started building all this time ago with Avox, Jake, actually, the guy that did our logo. And it was like, it's like 75% done. And I like took a screenshot, sent it to the guy that owns the team that I built for. And he was like, dude, finish it up, man. He's like, dude, we could totally do something with this. And like, it just kind of gave me that motivation. Like, holy fuck, you know, like this can actually go somewhere. And it's just like, it took me randomly stumbling across like an old build on a live stream to kind of find that passion back for creating maps again.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes, I don't know, it's like, sort of in a weird way, like, that's you looking back on what you used to do this for, sort of thing. Like, that can relate to, like, anything. Like, make sure, guys, that you think back to your original objective, because you'll get lost in the system too much, and it's just like, I don't know, and it does not help. Like, guys, I understand this, because it does not help that YouTube has changed so much over the years. It used to be so, I'll just call it vibrant. It used to be so nice. And it was, monetization was easier.
Yeah. You could monetize
Because I
right away.
lost it. Because after it quit, after they quit that, I lost that. So that's a thing. But you know, it's just like, I don't know. The passion could be there or not there, and I've always said, like, YouTube may not be for everybody. Like, there's people out there that do not need to be doing YouTube, but they do it anyway. But it's
Right.
just, you know, it's just a thing. But
Right. And honestly too, and this is something that like people have honestly asked me to like maybe make a series on my channel where I kind of talk about my knowledge of YouTube because I was there kind of like early on in the Minecraft days, I guess. Not like super early on, but like my channel took off fast because there was like a lot of people, there wasn't a whole lot of people doing what I started doing, but the people that were doing it were big and they were blowing up quick, and that's why like when I started, I came in at a good time. And I feel like I came in at such a good time, and I learned so much in the 7 years now, going on 7 years that I've been doing this. So it's sure I'm not like the biggest YouTuber, you know what I mean? Like if PewDiePie made a video talking about like how to make a YouTube channel, like of course it's going to do a lot better than if I was to like say like this is how you start a YouTube channel. Like, you know, somebody with almost 100 million subs and then somebody with like 8,000 subs, you know what I mean? Like it, but I feel like I know enough information. And one of the things that I tell people all the time when they reach out to me is like, what do I do to start a YouTube channel? You know, like what do I need? And I feel like because, you know, you look up to the bigger YouTubers, obviously, you know, like we all do in some way or another. And, you know, you see them with like a $2,000 computer and like 4 monitors and like they just have this big elaborate setup, and then in your mind you think like, okay, that's what I need to be successful, and that's not the case. Mr. Beast, look at, he's a perfect example. That motherfucker recorded videos on his iPhone 4 for the longest time. I don't think it was up until like just a couple years ago he actually got like good cameras. He recorded his videos on iPhones when he started to get popular, an iPhone 4. Like it just goes to show that you don't need all that stuff, and I just tell people like utilize what you have available to you now.
yeah, don't wait to buy the most expensive thing. Um, that's like that's what John Campea said about making short films or whatever, because he's in the whole movie kind of community, and I've always felt that way. Like I've always wanted to make one of those, and so, or not even really a short film, but like a full length like film, like actually directing something for real and putting it on YouTube, because you have the capability. Like, I mean, look at what, you know, me and you have, like editing and like everything. Like we're already like, let's just say we go in to make like a film together, like that's actually well shot, well edited. Me and you would have the tools to do that 100%. Like you wouldn't need like a big studio like budget or whatever.
I could
like
literally use the $500 camera
some of
sitting
the
on my
best
desk
movies
right now.
are made with the most simple things.
Yeah,
Like you don't have to have special effects and all that stuff. Like you know, look at like Joker or whatever. Like that movie, like that had some sets, some city to use, and like just Joaquin Phoenix. And there's more to it than that, but it definitely like is a more simple type movie. And you know, if you're already like with short films and stuff like that, if you have the capability to edit videos, like you already are winning. Like I would be ahead of the game to direct one of those things because I know how to edit. And it's like, and the people that don't learn, man, like getting your hands on the sit is what you need. You don't look at your favorite YouTubers and think, I gotta be like that. I gotta use what they use. Like literally, there are some programs you can use that where you can literally edit on your phone. I make my thumbnails on my phone, and it's it's an amazing app called Adobe Spark Post, and like it's basically like Photoshop but on your phone, and it's amazing.
is it free?
With Adobe Premiere, because like I have that, but it's like with the account that I use for that is like I'm allowed to sign into Adobe Spark Post.
Yeah, that's pretty
So
cool.
no, I can't sit here, guys, and be like, it's free. And if it was, I would have already made a video on my channel about it, because I know like the review crew and stuff, they are like looking out for good thumbnail makers and stuff. And I'm just like, well, I use Adobe Spark Post, but you'll have to get a subscription to Premiere Pro, which is $20 a month. But I mean, that's with what you get. Because you know, I don't know if you've ever messed with the Creative Cloud stuff, but like you have all this stuff that you can pay for, but they don't make you pay for all of it. You can pick one.
Yeah.
And Premiere is it. I don't have Photoshop. I kind of wish I did, but it's
I
like,
have
but
Photoshop.
that's the thing is like everything that I can do that Photoshop does is pretty much. I mean, there's probably some extra depth stuff, but it's pretty much there on my phone with Adobe Spark Post. It's crazy. That's like in Anthony. And just shout out to Anthony real quick. I don't know if he's going to listen to this, but he's the one that introduced me to those because in the early podcast days and stuff, all those thumbnails where like our heads are like on like Santa's body or whatever on that Christmas one, like the number one episode and all those. He made those and then taught me how to use that. And then and I still look back on Anthony's thumbnails he made for us. I'm like, yeah, but his was really like his was better because he went all out with effort. I sometimes just make them really fast because, you know, we're on the move, man. Me and Dustin are just like, we got all this stuff we want to do and we're passionate about. It's like, just make something. And then sometimes I'll sit like maybe on the toilet or something and I'm just like super inspired to take the extra time. But sometimes I'm just like, just put something together. But anyway, yeah, we got way freaking off topic, but it's okay.
That's what this is about. Podcast. Yeah, it's and back on like the equipment side of things too. You know, and people say to me like, well, you have all this stuff, and I'm like, but you got to understand, I also started in a time where like you needed that stuff to make a YouTube video. Like now everything is so accessible, right? Like in order to do gameplay, like yeah, I had to buy a capture card, I had to buy a computer, but like you got to understand, I also worked a regular job. Like I worked hard for that. It wasn't something that was given to me. It wasn't just handed to me. Like I busted my ass to be able to buy the $150 capture card, to be able to buy this $160 microphone. Like it takes time, but like you know, with Xboxes and PlayStations and just everything, like I tell people all the time, I'm like, look, you can literally live stream to Twitch directly from your Xbox, right? Make a Twitch account on the computer if you have it, or you have like, you know, parents' computer, whatever. You can like record, you know, your gameplay like on Twitch, like live stream it, and on Twitch it has an option to save VODs, which are like video on demand basically. And it saves like your whole broadcast. You can literally take that, download it, and upload it straight to YouTube. The PlayStation 5
or chop it down or whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah, you could do whatever. And like the PlayStation 4, and I'm sure the PlayStation 5 does the same thing. You can live stream directly to YouTube. Literally, just like treat it as if you're wanting to do a video, and it's right there. You have so much access at your fingertips, and you don't need to spend money to make this happen.
When it comes to technology right now and all that stuff, we're in the best time for any of that. It's so accessible now more than ever.
And you know what's crazy too is,
you know, back in the day you had to have capture cards and stuff. Now you really don't anymore.
Not at all. And you were talking about,
if you want to get really fancy with the camera and like what Dustin has with Twitch, which looks amazing and everything, then go all out. But you know, guys, here's the thing: is like. And that's the last thing I'll say on it, and then I'll get back to my trip. But here's the thing about it. You have to let your channel or Twitch or whatever it is you're doing creative, no matter what it is, you're gonna evolve eventually. You're gonna try different things. Like, I'm always evolving the way that I do things with Trav Tries. Like, it's always like, oh, you know, like, sometimes you just get tired of the same old thing, and you're just like drooling editing because you're just like, this is the same thing over and over. So you just mix it up. And I don't mean like the video, like the way you do it or whatever. You know, I've changed my position of my camera like 100 times just because I'm very like, I don't like to stay in the same thing so many times. I want to, it's like how I look at it with my videos is like, I'm leading up to my absolute dream spot and setup and everything. Mm-hmm. But it's literally, and but Trav, you've been doing this for like this long, this many years. It's like, yeah, and I'm still changing things because it's okay to do that. So you can take that advice and like, look at it as, like, you know, just start filming yourself or vlogging or something with your phone. Like, literally, phones have the crispiest, like, if you want to use reflective cam, just if you have to see yourself, like me, like, to be honest, guys, that's what I use. I have to make sure I'm positioned. Like, I can't just, like, I've tried to use front cam and it's just like, I'm thrown off. So I have to use it. Does it take the quality down a little bit? Yeah, but I still, I'm good with 1080p. for right now until I get literally a desktop that can handle 4K editing, because I have a laptop and there's a Mac in there that Ashley has I've been using too. Neither one can handle like even like 60 frames. I mean, it can, but there's like
it
things you have to do
bogs
with
it
that.
down.
But 4K is a heck no. Like, the video's laggy. Even if I optimize Adobe Premiere to run its best performance, nothing. Like, it's too much. Even if I pre-render. Pre-rendering is like, if you pre-render the whole thing, it's going to take 3 hours, whereas I could have been using that 3 hours to do a video. I do everything with my videos to the most, like, quality level is good enough for my standards, / everything I'm doing has to be fast. Like, the most efficient, because you want to, once you do a video, you want to be able to get to the next one. If you spend like 3 weeks on one food review, it's like, what's the point? It's too much stress. So guys, start small.
Yes, and it's funny you
That's
say
all I'm
that,
gonna say about that.
about the cell phones too, real quick. So Tristan and I have been talking about getting a phone plan together, and you know, like I was like, okay, well, like if we do this, like if I get a new phone, I have the iPhone 10, works great, I love it, no issues with it, and I literally got it like a month after it came out, back when it came out, and obviously a bunch have came out since then. They're on the 12 now, and I told her, I was like, and she has like a Galaxy S9, and I was like, would you be willing, you know, if we get a phone plan together here soon, would you be willing to like switch to iPhone maybe? And she was like, well, yeah, like absolutely, why not? And I'm like, okay, cool, and I don't know about you guys, but I do tons of research on products that I'm interested in just so I know what I'm getting. And I found this, I come across this guy, I'll send the video to Trav later, who like did this video and it was all shot on an iPhone. Like, and all he did was just add a tiny bit of color grading to it. That's it. Like, but he even showed like the raw footage, and you would have swore he was using a $5,000 camera.
Yeah, dude, iPhones are beasts. My iPhone 11 is literally like, you can do 60 frames per second even with reflective cam. And any iPhone before that, you couldn't do that. It has to be 30. And it can be 60 when you're looking at yourself. It's insane. And when you switch it, like literally, like you pull up your, go to video, like you pull up your camera, you get ready to video. All you're doing is literally tapping this little, like the little numbers to change it to 30, 60, 4K. And I think it can even go above that. It's like, and you know, when you're doing front cam, like that's, literally you're shooting, like guys, if you want to make a movie, do it on your iPhone. It's literally like, it's easy. It's not easy. It takes planning and everything if you want to make something actually good.
Well, Apple has that whole thing too. Like their whole campaign is like shot on iPhone, and it's like these people that they gave these phones to that are like known, you know, like little indie directors, and they just do the craziest shit. And I mean, a lot of it too, a lot of like for their campaign, it's just raw footage from the iPhone. Like you just need like if you're outside and you have like pretty decent lighting, like sun's shining, like today when I was live streaming disc golf, like it was beautiful outside. That was literally that was my iPhone. I was literally streaming from my phone.
Yeah, and quality stayed. There was no like, I mean, for the time that I was there was no like bad lag or anything. It held good. Phones in general now are beasts, and it's just like, it's a whole new level. But the way I'll end that little conversation, guys, is this. Literally, just start. Do not do that whole thing where you're like, I gotta spend $300, but don't wait to start. You'll never do it. Like, I've done I've done that so many times. I say I'm gonna do something, and if I don't just start whenever I want to, then I won't do it. Write a book, whatever. Like, I've never done anything like that. I've tried, but never got far. You know, I just had to scrap, or I'd lose it or whatever on another hard drive. Like, if you want to start something, start it. And it's just like, to me, it's all about testing what you want to do. It doesn't have to be perfect off the get. The more you get hands-on with something, or like doing a YouTube channel, whatever, the more you'll figure out, do I like to do this? Like, you can back out at any time. It's your product.
Yep.
Like, that's how I see it, is it's your brand. You can just stop, you can whatever. But definitely don't go into it being stupid and hating on other people and all that. And there's some big YouTubers out there that are just whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, real quick about my trip.
Finally, 39 minutes later.
The Butterfly Palace is the best thing that I've ever done in Branson. I mean, it's something really simple and something that like it's definitely like an Ashley thing to get excited about. I wasn't sure. I mean, I knew it sounded cool. I just thought we were going to I thought the Butterfly Palace was a butterfly just museum, like where there would be like dead ones inside like glass and there's like different colors. Like that's just what I imagined. But no, it's actually like a big dome thing. Not really dome. It's just more of like a kind of a greenhouse. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. You go in through double doors. There's a middle, like you feel like you're gonna be like quarantined, like contaminated or whatever, like whatever the opposite of that is, sprayed down or whatever. But you go in through the double doors, and then there's a middle room and two other, and they have to literally wait for the front two double doors to close before opening the rest. And you go in there, you go through like these this chain doorway thing, kind of like bead doors. I don't know how to explain that. Anyway, so you go through and you pick up a little flower that is like a fake flower, but it's got like a hole in it, and it's a tube you're holding. It's not that big, and there's a little sign that says shows the recipe for this, so you can literally make it at home. It's made out of like Gatorade and a couple other things, and literally you're walking around. They tell you to watch your step because there might be butterflies. It's literally a huge room with like trees and stuff where butterflies land on you and like drink out of this little flower thing you're holding. It's pretty crazy. Like it's actually like I was blown away with like how much I enjoyed that. Because it's like nature in a sense. There's even birds in there. You don't really see them much, but if you see one, then you see one. And those type of birds, for some reason, I don't remember what the reason was, but they don't eat them, so they can live in peace together. And I'm gonna hit up Lucas about this. So if you're listening on YouTube, guys, Spotify, anything else, I'm sorry, but if you want to see this, listen to it on YouTube. I thought of this in advance. I'm gonna have Lucas pull up like a video or two, and some pictures of the experience. I took a lot of photos and videos. There's actually a moment where Ashley had a butterfly on her flower, and then it just flew up and landed right on her mask and stayed there for like a good few minutes. And so she's like trying not to move. And then she said after, she was like, if it would have crawled like up my face though, I was starting to get nervous. Like, but before it got to her face, it just took off. But it was a huge like white and black butterfly. Like it was amazing. I don't know. It's just like this thing where it's like, you don't really appreciate certain creatures until you're like around them like that. I've always thought butterflies were pretty obviously, like who doesn't? But it was like whenever you have one on this little flower you're holding and you're just looking at this like thing that's actually kind of ugly up close because their faces and stuff are like a regular bug, but like they're just really interesting creatures. And the fact that they're like, oh, I'm gonna hang out and I know you're there, like they're aware that you're a person, like you're this big thing that could just kill you at any point, but you'd be sued if you did that in there because you're not like allowed to touch them if you can help it, because touch a butterfly or a moth's wing, it most likely dies.
They're very delicate, yeah.
But they're just beautiful, man. And like the ones that got on my flower, like I would like watch them and they would literally, whatever their mouth thing they have, it's like a weird something, and they literally are like shoving that into the flower. It's like down a tube and drinking out of it, and it's just so interesting. At one point, I think I had like 2 or 3 on one flower at one point, but we went twice. We went there for the first time on our second day, which was yesterday as the time we're recording this. And Ashley said, we had so much fun in there that she was like, we're coming back before we leave. Like, we check out at the hotel, we'll make this one last stop, and then we'll drive home. Like, cool. Because the wristbands you get, like, amusement parks, so you get like a wristband or something, are good for the next 2 days. So you get in for free. And so that's just a deal, man.
So you pretty much
so we couldn't
once.
take them off. We couldn't take them off because the only way to get them off is cutting them, and it wouldn't count. They said if you cut it or whatever, it doesn't count. So I literally had to I showered and everything last night, but with that thing on, but it's durable. And yeah, we're gonna keep those because we kind of, I don't know. Like, you and Trista, do you have like a, because we do this, like a memory box or anything that you keep around? Like just stuff that's like movie tickets are in it, different. I don't know. If you don't, it's whatever.
I
But I'm
mean,
just curious.
kind of. Like,
Or
I
do
mean,
y'all keep things in certain places where you know you can look at it and remember
yeah,
things?
like we've done stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's I haven't looked at the memory box in like, so I don't even know if, I think I've only seen it once, and that's been like a year, or like a couple years at least. It's crazy to think, like, looking back, but yeah, I remember like seeing movie tickets and stuff, movies we've seen, and yeah, it's just one of those things, like it's a thing at this point where we're gonna feel guilty if we throw anything away. I mean, certain things you can throw away, but we got like a mug at the Silver Dollar City Christmas lights, because the first night, it's like this town you walk into at night, and it's just like just Christmas lights, like, as in, I don't know how to explain it. It's like literally houses and just lights everywhere and like different designs, and like you take your picture inside of like a freaking one of those like cardboard cutout things you put your face in and stuff like that. Like, everything I'm saying, guys, sounds like the cheesiest thing on the planet, but whenever you're there, it's different, and whenever you're with a loved one, it's also different. Let me know, guys, in the comments, though, what's like the best trip you've ever been on? I'm just simple. I'm cool with going to Branson. We talked about it when we got there, of how people look down on Branson, because there's like a Branson like group or something on Facebook, and also let me know if you happen to ever go to Branson. It's like supposed to be actually pretty well known. Like if you're comparing that to like Vegas or something, like people are gonna go to Vegas, but this is different. This is the southern Vegas. There's shows, mini golf. We always go to Pirates Cove, which is the best mini golf. I sent Dustin like a photo or a video, and I wish that Ashley would have been filming me when I got 3 hole-in-ones there. I was like, I don't know if I've ever done that. And then it just literally every time I play mini golf now, I'm like, I'm excited to try to play disc golf, see what I can do.
Very different.
They're two totally different games, but it does make me think about disc golf when I play it, in a weird way. But like Pirates Cove's cool because you'll hit the ball, it'll go down into a hole, and there's like other holes that you can come out of to get to the end one and stuff like that. And there's just regular sections where it's like there might be a little bit of a hill on it or something that you got to maneuver. There's one that's like where it's the best one because of that. Like, I've been to other mini golf courses, and like they're just like, I went to a dinosaur one time, and it was just way too simple. Like, everything was like flat ground, which is fine, but it's like, I mean, look at real golf. It involves hills and stuff like that. So I mean, I just want a little bit of that challenge.
Disc golf involves trees,
hole-in-ones,
lots and lots of trees.
Yeah, and that's also what I'm interested in with disc golf is like, yeah, but the first day that I ever play that, I'll just have to learn how to throw, because good lord, it looks like it's technique.
It's a lot. It's a lot of upper body work, man.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Speaking of that, I'll plug something real quick because I forgot to plug it at the beginning. So, I sent Dustin this like literally not that long ago because I kind of forgot to tell him about it. But I mean, we dropped the video. Like, it's been private for a while, but we were waiting on a logo. We got a logo guy, had it made. But check out Toxic Tiger Studios, guys. That's me and Thomas's brand new channel. We're just sharing a channel. It was kind of something he hit me up with. At first, I was just kind of like, because I've always joked around, like, one more thing, and I can't handle it. Like, it was just, like, kind of that thing. Like, I had the podcast, and I had my reviews and everything. And no, but I also said that whenever I was, like, super pumping up videos and everything. And I don't know. It's work, guys. Like referring back to earlier, like, it's a thing. And when you have, like, a 9-to-5 job, it's totally different story, and it just taking the time. And whenever you're trying, like, me and Dustin are like we have women, so it's like when you're trying to balance all that, it can be very difficult. But Thomas hit me up because Ryan lives original town, my childhood town, my home, whatever. Anyway, he lives there, and like I don't really get to see him that much or anything, but like Thomas, I work with him, and like we hang out at least once a week. And the vlogging part, I'm just going to link the first video in the description. There's only one video up so far. I'm almost done with the second one. But it's like it's just something that like after a long time of Thomas talking to me about it or whatever, because he was just like, we're sitting in his Jeep, he's like, like I would really, if you could ever free up time or whatever, like, then like I would love to do a channel. And he's always, before that, he always joked about it and teased it, because we would always watch Good Mythical Morning and stuff together. It's like we have like that dynamic and that chemistry on screen. And like he's been on my channel a lot and stuff. And I'm just thinking about the work, because he is like super interested in the editing process, because he has watched me edit reviews. He's watched me edit our reviews sometimes. And he's like, it helps that he's eager to learn about everything YouTube at this point. He's literally going out of his way to like ask me questions, whatever. I let him get hands-on. I let him sign into the account I use for Adobe Spark Post, and he's like kind of playing around with thumbnail making and stuff. So he's interested. And I kind of told him, like, I mean, you got to be all in if we do this. If we make like a channel, like I need some help sometimes. And I told him, like, it needs to be something that's like, I have my channel, which will be like my main channel, but something that's just kind of, because guys, let me just say this real quick. I've been food reviewing for years. It gets old. And I think Dustin kind of feels the same way about Minecraft sometimes, because he made other channels as well. He's just having fun with these other ideas. He's got a Twitch channel and stuff like that. So that's kind of where my mind's at with this, is like just kind of a getaway channel.
Yep.
And I'm not saying the podcast isn't that, but like video form is just different, because I can come on here and just use my voice for this podcast anytime. And I told Thomas that. I'm like, I have the podcast, man. But I told Thomas straight up, I'm like, the podcast isn't going anywhere, as far as I could tell. unless something just really, really happens. And I told him, like, well, I mean, there's no way, like, he means, like, if you ever have anything kind of go under or something, or, like, you want to stop one of your things, I'm like, well, nothing's looking that way now. So let's just give it a shot. And so we joked around with names. We have like, I have this other idea for Pineapple Rabbit Studios, where like there's going to be a rabbit logo, and the freaking head of the rabbit has like a pineapple stem, and he's all spiky and yellow like a pineapple. Like that's literally the level we took it to. We knew that we wanted it to be a word with an animal, and studios or productions or something, kind of just giving off this like, it's just anything channel. Like that's, and I've always felt like I've kind of needed that in my life, but I just never really had the time. But the thing is me and Thomas hang out all the time, and we go walking. We've kind of found this new obsession with like, I'm trying to get, because it's something I used to do with Ryan and by myself when I lived with my mom and stuff. Like, I want to get back into like walking, exercise, and all that. So it's kind of this nice, like, you know what? Let me try some vlogging. I told him, let's just, we were kind of like, where do we start? Is the journey of this channel is literally just going to be as we go, figure it out. And so far, we've just got some vlogs filmed for you guys. And I actually am enjoying it, because it's like, we're out on a nice cold night, and it's just kind of fun. And I don't know, like, I'm not saying that, and Dustin's way more like the vlogger type guy. And I've dabbled in it in the past, but it's kind of like how you felt with your weekly vlog, is like, you always wanted to bring it back. There's just that itch of like, vlogging's fun. It's just like the work.
Yeah, it's
And
a lot.
it's a thing. But so that's kind of where we're at with it. And the reason I was going to bring that up to also plug that channel anyway, if you guys want to check out me and Thomas just freaking being as goofy as heck, like the next vlog you guys are going to enjoy. I promise you. It's not just like a boring old walk. It's like there's some places we go and walk to that should be interesting to you guys. But anyway, the other reason I brought that up is because when I do get some discs, me and Thomas are going probably to do that. Like, we're going to set up a camera. And I'm not saying, like, oh, copying Dustin and doing this intro. Like, the thing is like, if that happens with Toxic Tiger, cool. If it becomes, like, somewhat of a disc golf channel, cool. But it's not going to be all of it. I just think it's a cool, like, well, we're so far, like, this kind of free-flow vlogging channel. Like, heck yeah, we would, like, do vlog some other type things that we could do, like disc golf or anything. If me and Thomas ever go on a vacation together, whatever, vlog the heck out of it. It's just, so far with editing those, it's just such a breath of fresh air. And I know Dustin feels that way about like his Twitch and stuff, where just like, we've been doing these main channels for so long that it's just nice to do something else.
It
just
nice.
is.
So I want to give you and Thomas a recommendation for a video, right? You don't have to have discs. Just go to your closest disc golf course and just walk the course. Find where hole 1 is, download that UDisc app, find where hole 1 is, and just walk the course, because I guarantee you, all 18 holes, I guarantee you will end up in places that you would normally not go if you were to just go to that park normally.
Right.
And I would just like to, it would be just cool, because you guys can just have fun and maybe even meet some people playing along the way, you know, and get some shots of them, like, being good.
Yeah, I think Dustin's going to get a kick out of this one thing. One big idea I had is just literally film our first time playing.
Oh, my God.
I want to film it. I want to film it and I want to film it. I want to be awful at it. And I just want to, like, see my reaction. And if I do good, I'll be like, holy crap. Like, I see how Dustin and Trista freak the heck out when they score. I want to experience that. So, you know, it's like, it's a whole different thing. So it's just kind of like, guys, you know, if you want to see even more behind the scenes of me and like my buddy Thomas, like, it's there. Like, it's literally like we're just walking and talking, and being silly, because we just, like, when we hang out, it's just like, personalities just shine, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. And kind of like with me and Dustin, like, when we talk about this stuff, we can talk about whatever. And, you know, going back to what I said earlier, how in that part of the conversation is, guys, yeah, don't be afraid to experiment. If you have to make like 5 channels to figure out what you want to do, I'm still figuring out what I want to do creatively after years of being on YouTube, period. Like, I'm still figuring it out. It's going to happen. Unless you just really hit that pocket of, like, this is what I want to do. Like, Star Wars Theory or any of those guys that are, like, their channels are just Star Wars. And they still are, like, killing it. And they're still, like, passionate about it. Me doing one thing for so long would probably just eat me up inside. But everyone's different. So it's just a thing. And it's going to be interesting. A lot of great content coming for you guys. I'm like, making that channel just felt so good, because it's like, just something, just, I don't know, just editing something else besides what I normally do just feels amazing. And yeah, I don't have my recommendation yet, but do you?
My recommendation is going to be directed at our man, Lucas Starr, producer here on the podcast. A lot of stuff's been going on kind of behind the scenes, and there's been a very nasty person who has been saying very ignorant things and doing very ignorant things to him, and it's kind of gotten to a point now where, like, Trav and I at first told Lucas, like, hey, man, try to brush it off, you know, people will hate, it will stop. It hasn't stopped since August, and it's getting to the point that it's just gone too far. So if you guys could please, like, just show Lucas some love in the comment section, because I am trying my best to get this resolved with him. But that's my recommendation. Please show Lucas some love, because right now he could use it.
Yeah. Some nasty stuff going on there. Won't go too much into it, but
And my other recommendation: don't be a fucking asshole on the internet. Just don't.
I could have used that one. Dustin, don't steal it. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I don't know. What can be my recommendation? Go for a walk. I know you probably used that one before. Actually, I know I have at least once. But get your exercise no matter what that is. Even if it involves you doing something creatively. Like literally me and Thomas love to walk, but it's almost better. Like we want to walk because we know like I'm gonna vlog. And you know what? I'm getting used to vlogging. Like I'm not the best. I have a shaky hand and stuff. Like I'm gonna get a freaking vlog stick and all that and like get all that, and we're gonna get microphones and all that jazz because it's just fun to like have a reason to go outside and do stuff and getting exercise. So that's kind of what I think me and Thomas' channel is going to be based around is being active, because me and him have pretty similar like health things, like, you know, just I don't know. We both want to shed some pounds and stuff, and like it's just gonna be fun. And disc golf will probably be a good thing for that. And yeah, like I said, just get outside, guys, and enjoy. And hey, plug us into your freaking earphones while you're doing it, and listen to the Bearded Bro Show podcast on Spotify. Email. Wait, no, not email. What? Email us. But we're also on these other listening platforms that are all listed below. And on YouTube. Look out for all that, guys. Anything you want to say, Dustin, before we head out?
No, that's it. Again, just don't be a fucking asshole on the internet.
Dustin stayed spicy to the end. He's like, no, I'm gonna drill it in. All right, guys, you'll be talking to us next time.
Well, see ya.